What's up guys, ZiSotto here, and today we're looking at patch 4.6 Racer Rumble. I'm unfortunately a day late on this, I'm very sorry about that. My internet provider kind of decided to cut off my internet for the day because hey, it doesn't matter to them, right? So, anyways, we're getting into the patch notes right away. This patch brings us quite a few new skins that we're gonna go through. Then we have a new game mode, a temporary game mode that we're quickly gonna talk about. And then, as usual, most time will be invested into the balance changes. Let's first jump into the skins. We have a new skin for Apollo. It's a Winner's Circle. You know how much I love Apollo. I think the skin is very well designed in terms of animations and stuff. I personally don't like the skin itself that much, but whatever. Not my taste, that's it. We have Amazon Athena. I think that is an amazing skin. Nice effects, nice overall visuals. A very, very colorful skin. I do like the Peace Enforcer stuff that she already has, but this one I think it's just amazing and very different from the usual style. Then we have a Star Wars themed skin for Chang'e. This one's also pretty damn cool. The animations and sounds on this are they are adjusted in a way that makes them kind of really nice, especially the sounds, but not crazy different. And you have this robot rabbit bunny, which is rabbit bunny, robot rabbit, robot bunny, whatever you want to call it, which is really cool. My favorite Chang'e skin along with Moonlight Love now. Really, really cool. Then we have Igor Ratatoskar. Straight up amazing. Like black, blue-ish color theme. Uses controllers instead of his nuts. So, just overall, really cool skin. I get the Igor animation all over. This is for the console world champions, being Igor. I think that's just an amazing skin overall. Ironically, he's playing on the spectator mode with his controller there. Oh well. Then we have the Tier 2 for Susano. In my opinion, one of the best Susano skins and Tier 2 skins. It's very simplistic. It has like very minor changes. Like the blade of the sword is a little different. He's got these like spikes on his helmet, with a little different color theme. But it does look really good. It does look, has this like, well, like slightly like aquatic theme to it. And I really like that. And then last but not least, we have Kernonos gold and diamond skins. I'm not so sure. I like the design of them very much. I think they look really cool. Problem for me with Kernonos, with pretty much every skin but his default skin so far, even the recolor, is that his stances are harder to see. The brown just gives them the best contrast to easily recognize the stances. And even on these skins, you can see them okay-ish, but not as good as on the default. So that's something you have to decide for yourself if it matters to you or not, if you're using the passive meat on the side anyways. And with that, let's quickly use the voice packs here. As always, little warning ahead, they may be very loud.
Don't you put that evil on me!
Kids will grow up believing the Amazon is a place to shop.
Things are looking up.
Sit back, relax, and watch me put on some plays.
Alright, that's the skin section. We got a new emote for a Tusker dance mode. And then we have the Smite Adventure. So this is Apollo's Racer Rumble, and instead of just going into way too much detail about it, let's quickly sum it up like this. It's Mario Kart with Smite characters in Smite. It's literally what it is. The maps are similar in terms of style with obviously Smite theme. You have those boxes with items that you can use. You have drifting like in Mario Kart with a speed boost if you drift long enough. You have speed boost lines on the ground. It is straight up Mario Kart. Like, it's just like, this is all I can say about it. And I think that's cool. It's, you know, it's a free Mario Kart. Bit gimmicky, obviously, but I think it's going to be fun. For me, you know, Conquest is the main mode, but this is something I would play occasionally just for fun. It won't last too long, though. The bundle is, in my opinion, a little lackluster, but that may just be because I don't like the main skin. So you have the Racer, well, the Winner's Circle Apollo skin in it. You have the Racer Pedestal, Racer Award, music theme, and a gold key. The gold key is for either Guan Unicorn or the Swashbuckler Susano. So if you haven't unlocked one of those, you can do that way. I think you get 3 gold keys in total, though, so with the next adventure, you could still get that one. I'm not quite sure what happens with the 3rd key otherwise. And this whole thing will cost you 900 gems and 1,000 later. And that's where I'm like a little bit irritated. You get additional rewards. You can like upgrade your pedestal similar to how you could upgrade the mode by playing the game mode. You can get 2 extra, I think, Enigma chests, and then the awesome chest, which gives you an exclusive skin, which is weird to me. Why would you give it exclusive skin? But like, you have those chests for extra skins, so you get extra value out of that. But realistically, you're getting 2 skins for 900 gems, which I guess is okay because then, you know, they have animations and all. But in my opinion, not the best skins, especially if you already used the first bundle to get one of the gold chest skins. You're gonna get your second choice then. So, you know, it's okay, but I've seen better. Then we have item changes. So, well, missed change for the K screen, but we'll jump into the item changes. First one is Rod of Asclepius. So Rod of Asclepius sees a nerf and Rod of Healing as well. The extra healing, the bonus healing in combat, not the out of combat healing, is decreased from 20% to 10%, and for Rod of Healing is decreased from 10% to 5%. So that means that you now have a total of 20% healing bonus or 10% healing bonus on the 2 rods. And it's quite a drastic change, in my opinion. It does make quite a difference. Not everyone was always healing in combat, so it's not always that important for them, but I can see this making a difference. This may enforce other healer supporting items being used a little more again. We'll see about that. They may still use in combination anyways, but it is a significant change, and with healers performing better, I can see where it's coming from, though I am not sure if it was needed to like blanket nerf this one. It's a change where I'm like, it's okay. I don't think we needed it, but I also see where it's coming from. The next one is Runic Shield. That's one where I can see much more where it's coming from. Runic Shield was just a bit, you know, not doing that well in terms of stats. 50 magical power reduction, and you get 35 additional physical power, I think, and 50 magical protection. An interesting mix of stats, but like, if you were to build it in a supporty style, there's just Hardwood Amulet. This does the job better, gives your team magical defense instead, and gives you more health and more protection and everything. Now it has extra 100 health, which makes the defensive stats on this item very, very comparable, actually, to Silver Talisman. So Silver Talisman, tier 2 of Bulwark of Hope or Hardwood Amulet, has, I think, 45 magical protection and 125 health. This Runic Shield now has 50 magical protection and 100 health. Very similar stats in terms of raw protection. So what you're getting on top of that for the roughly 1,000 gold extra you pay is 35 power and 50 power reduction from the enemy. I can see this being picked up a little more in a bruisery build now. I'm not quite sure who can make best use of it, because you have to justify building like power items in your build over a full defensive item most of the time. But I can see this being used, especially in like specific situations to counter out specific gods. For example, Freya. Next one is Shield of Thorns, just a tooltip fix. And that brings us to the god changes. We have a little fix for Athena, we have a little fix for Willis. Nothing that actually affects gameplay much. This one, though. This one affects gameplay. Maybe not as significantly as some people think, but it does. Hades. Hades gets an overall change that's supposed to push him more towards the direction of being a mage, being a damage-oriented mage, maybe, instead of being in this awkward spot between being a tank and being a mage. So, in terms of base stats, we get reduced protection scaling. So, you now get 2.6 protection instead of 3.2. Pompon pointed out on the patch notes that he still is among the higher protection mages. It's not like he completely falls off in that regard. There's also a base health reduction from 490 to 450, so his early makes him a little more squishy as well, along with his late game defense not being as high, physical protection being as high. And his base attack speed instead is increased from 0.87 to 0.95, giving it a little bit better clear, a little bit more ways to apply his passive especially. So these stats are generally more of a nerf than a buff, but giving me more of an aggression direction instead of the tankier one that he has. But it doesn't stop there. And it all falls together a little bit. It makes more sense at the end of this. So he gets increased damage on death from below, increased from up to 190 to 270, also starting at a higher value. Instead of 50, we're starting at 70 damage. This means that death from below in itself is more of an aggressive tool now. He always used it to engage. Like, Hades is no one that will often use it to disengage as an escape, because usually he wants to be in the middle of the fight, because that's where he gets his ultimate off, that's where he gets his other abilities off. So for other gods, I would usually say, you know, buffing the damage on the escape, yeah, whatever. With Hades, I think it has more of an impact because it's just half his damage anyway, so he has to go in like that. The problem that comes with it is that it's easier to accidentally clear the minions with the 1. So you can use the 1-3 combo as well. So you may have to resort to the 2-3 combo more. And that's a bit annoying. But, I mean, in the end it's more damage. You're not going to complain about that. And it's significantly more base damage. No increase on the scaling. Shroud of Darkness gets a mana reduction from 80 to 60. That's good, I think, just, bringing the abilities a little more in line with like, what they do for what price. And that's very much justifiable. And Devour Souls sees the same thing with the mana cost reduced by, well, 5 to 25, depending on the rank. So 5 per rank. Or like 5 extra per rank, rather. Also, this ability now deals detonate damage to the target being detonated. The detonate damage was previously only to the targets around it. So in a single target fight, it didn't matter. So it's up to, I think, 48 extra damage, or I think it says 50 up here. No, 48 plus 50% magical power. So this is a lot of extra damage, especially from the scaling that you will see here from Hades Devour Souls. So you really have to watch out with the 1-3 combo right now. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be pretty bursty pretty early into the game already, and it's not gonna fall off much because it has that extra scaling. So there's some new visuals to make it a little more obvious how it works. That's also nice. It's just a little bonus, and that that combined gives them a lot more aggression potential. Like his 1 will deal more damage, and a 3 will in a single target scenario deal more damage as well. Or in any scenario really. So that is already something worth keeping in mind. Pillar of Agony, however, gets changed as well. Pillar of Agony gets extra increased protections for you on higher ranks. This is basically, in a way, something that makes up for the reduction of physical protection scaling. Now, I think, as far as I understand it, I may be wrong, there may be some values that I'm not factoring in, but as far as I understand it, he should get 12 extra he should lose 12 protection on the highest rank, whereas he will get, like as opposed to before, whereas he will get 20 extra protection during his ultimate now. So that's something I'm okay with. It's a high value in terms of what he gets in protections for free during his ultimate though, but an immobile ultimate that is kind of easy to counter kind of justifies at least not dying while using it that often. It no longer consumes Blight as well, which helps you especially with Devour Souls, I think, just to heal up, or just getting additional extra effects from the other abilities as well. Overall good. Overall, I don't think I made sense there. Whatever. It buffs him overall because Blight can now be used with other additional effects that he has on other abilities, and that's strong. And also, blighted targets will now have their magic protections reduced before taking the first take-off damage. So that's pretty nice, getting some extra damage off on the first tick off it as well. Little bonus damage. So overall, what happens? He loses a lot of protective stats. He gets a lot of damage in return. His abilities become cheaper. He has a little bit clear and a little better ways of applying his blight through the basic attacks. And what he still has as his issues is he is a mage that has to go in. So you can't just or you can try and build him like pure damage and just burst the enemies, and you'll have more success with that than you had before, because it has really high burst potential between the 1 and the 3. But you can also get bursted really easily, and you're not like other mages who are in the backline. No, you're in the middle of the fight. So you really have to figure out which items you want to use for that. And I guess I can just make another video on that topic alone, because it's going to be very interesting. We're going to see how well it goes for him. I could see him just climbing up in the meta a little bit and not going completely crazy. I could also see him like somebody just coming up with some janky strategy that makes him almost unkillable and just wrecking havoc every game. Hou Yi, base stats get increased. A little extra attack speed, a little extra base power. All I can say here is don't underestimate this. It's just like an 0.05 attack speed increase and 2 extra base power. But these tiny changes sometimes do a lot, especially for ADCs, in terms of clearing with abilities as well as with basics in the early stages of the game, and that can really help, even if the abilities themselves are not changed. And I don't think that Hou Yi is too far below the meta. I don't think he's like absolute garbage at the moment. I think he's just not performing as well as other hunters. So tiny buffs can like easily push him back up a little bit, especially when other hunters fall off as well. For example, Houyi has his stealth reveal, which works well against Izanami, and Izanami is going to show up a little more again with another nerf that's coming this patch. So, you know, it all kind of falls together. Then we have Kukulkan getting a little FX fix. And Medusa gets an interesting fix, actually, because the lacerate would show the highlight minions wrong, and that's changed now, so that's, or acid spray as well. So it's good because it gives you more of an idea what your abilities actually do. Then Nemesis gets a fix that's also pretty important. If you've played her since this patch, you will notice this. Nemesis could not use her second dash if her mana was too low, even though it shouldn't cost any mana anymore because she already used the mana. And that is getting fixed, and that makes that a little more playable. And now the 2 dashes actually work as they were intended to work last patch. Ragin gets a fix for his passive. I'm not sure what happened there. Who plays Ragin? And Raven gets a big buff. Raven gets an interesting buff as well. Raven's Mystic Rush, first of all, gets a damage increase by 50 per rank, up to 500 damage now. The link target mechanic is completely removed. The link target was something like 40 to 60% damage reduction for targets around the target you ulted and blah, 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 blah. It was wonky. It was weird. Now it's very straightforward. Now you get 50% damage reduction on all ranks upon landing. So even if you don't hit a target, even if no one's around, even if you just use this as an escape, you get 50% damage reduction. Much better. Though, obviously the targeting mechanic was cool, but it kind of felt like something that worked better when he had like an auto lock on a specific target and not so much when he just leapt in like he does now. So I can see why this is like the logical decision to go for. Gonna make him a lot harder to trade during his ultimate, obviously. Also, enemy guards hit by Mystic Rush take 10% increased damage from all sources. And that, I think, that is quite something. The guard that has a similar mechanic is Amaterasu. Only that she needs multiple hits on the target to get this effect. She can keep it up basically forever though if she keeps hitting the target. This can really allow your team to burst someone down. If you find someone on your team who has like a decent amount of lockdown for a decent amount of time, Raven ults that target and you get like a Poseidon Kraken or any mage ultimate, really anything big on that target. This is going to be a lot of damage. Percentage damage increase, always scary if it works properly. Obviously, there are instances where it doesn't do much, usually when it's just for yourself and it's on an item called Runeforged Hammer, but if it's for your whole team, it's really good. Mystic Rush can also hit minions, so it can like clear the wave around someone that you're ulting or something like that. It's a nice bonus. And that brings us to a very short nerf that's very impactful. Scottie, Winter's Grasp. Calder is no longer immune to damage in this ability. However, he will still fully heal on activation. This is very, very interesting to me. I do not quite know how to feel about this. I actually, because I had these patch notes beforehand, different from usual, I asked on Twitter yesterday how everyone feels about this. And there were very, very mixed opinions, from Scottie's complete trash now to she totally deserved it. I'm very torn. I will say I'm not sure. And when Scottie originally came out, I said that the mechanic of having an invincible guard or invincible pet is just straight up stupid. Why is something invincible for an extended period of time that is not even the god himself? Like, I can see it with Kali, right? With Kali, it is Kali only, and you can see her, and then you kill her as soon as her ult runs out, but you can't even CC her with everything, so that's kind of annoying. But Kali has a lot of downsides to make up for the fact that her ultimate is so strong in that regard. She also had a lot of upside, that we're not going to go too deep into this, but with Scottie, with Calder, it was different, because you don't want to use all your CC on a pet, because Scottie will still damage you at the same time. He also has like strong effects surrounding that, with the damage that comes off all the time anyways, in a pretty wide radius, especially wider than Kali's. And he's just, it felt very punishing, especially because he could body block the shots as well. He could body block the shots, not take damage, and Scottie would just beat you down. And that in combination was just very, very frustrating to deal with. And I never liked this mechanic. I never thought it was good. And I was somebody who proposed very early that I didn't want this. I wanted this removed. I wanted something else. Now my opinion has kind of shifted. You know, Scottie has seen other nerfs, has been put in line in many regards. And while I always thought that Calder should be the one who should be targeted and Scottie should just be buffed and Calder nerfed, the nerf now comes at a very surprising moment. Especially because Apparently, this is something that came from the pros, and a lot of the pros were actually in the beginning saying that they want this immunity or that they thought it was okay. So, I'm still torn. I'm literally still torn on this. I can see where it's coming from. I think it's going to give other hunters a better opportunity to trade her. And if you haven't been following the pro scene, Scottie was overperforming in the pro scene. She was not overperforming as much in like lower ranked casuals, but like high level ranked pro scene is where Scottie was like all the time. So, did she need this kind of nerf? Is she gonna need compensation? I feel like she might need compensation. I feel like there's gonna be something that she'll need. I hope it's something for Scottie and not Calder. Like people say that the ultimate is completely useless now. That's just bullshit. It still has the CC. It still has the damage. It still heals Calder fully. You just have to play it a little smarter now. You don't just use it like in between. You want to throw it out when Calder is really low. Then you just heal him up and then you keep chasing and you get that extra damage. But at the same time, in a late game team fight, he is gonna get bursted very, very quickly. So Scottie actually lost late game, and well, while she still has a strong early game, this will affect her. This will affect her for sure. I don't think she will be playing. She will be picked as much in the high level scene, even though she still has that early game advantage, early game aggression. How exactly it will pan out, it's too early to say that, but we'll see. We'll see. Interesting change either way. And with that, we only have like some fixes for Morrigan and Zeus, and nothing that matters all too much. Just like tiny glitches that can matter in specific situations. With that, thank you guys for watching. I hope this was interesting. I hope this was insightful. If you're not subscribed yet, feel free to click that sub button. It really helps me out. And maybe the bell as well. I'm just gonna ring my bell. See you all for the next one tomorrow. If you want to catch me on stream, I'll be streaming if you watch this video shortly after it comes up. ZiSotto, out.